Have you ever felt way too small to face a huge problem? Like the world was waiting for you to fail. But something inside said, "No, I got this." This is the story of a boy no one took seriously, who changed the fate of a nation with courage, faith, and a stone. A long time ago in the golden hills of Bethlehem, Israel, there lived a young boy named David. He was the youngest of 8 brothers, the kind of kid people barely noticed. While his brothers trained for war or did important work, David had a simple job, or at least it seemed simple watching his father's sheep. But the fields weren't as peaceful as they looked. Cold mornings brought echoes through the trees. Hungry lions prowled. Bears emerged from the shadows. Any other boy would have run, but David stayed. With a staff in one hand and a sling in the other, he protected every single sheep like it was the only one. He was small, but his heart was massive. When danger passed, David would sit under a fig tree and play his harp. The music floated through the air like a gentle breeze. Even the birds would quiet down just to listen. And in that silence, he'd talk to God. Not with fancy words, but with honest songs, full of love and trust. One day, someone showed up at David's house. His name was Samuel, a prophet respected all across Israel. God had sent Samuel to find the next king. Nobody expected it to be that kid, the one with messy hair and calloused hands from the fields. Everyone thought it would be one of the stronger brothers. But Samuel looked at David and God whispered to his heart, "He's the one." Right there in front of everyone, Samuel anointed David with sacred oil. He was still just a boy, but heaven already saw a king. Meanwhile, in a dark valley, a threat was rising. Israel's enemies, the Philistines, were ready for war. And leading them was a monster of a man, Goliath. He stood almost 10 feet tall, covered in armor and arrogance. Every day he shouted, "Send someone to fight me. If he wins, we'll be your servants. But if I win, you'll be ours." The army of Israel shook with fear. Not one soldier dared to face him, not the strongest, not the bravest. That's when David showed up, just bringing bread and cheese to his brothers at the battlefield. But he heard Goliath's challenge. He saw fear in the soldier's eyes, shame on King Saul's face, and David stood up and said, "I'll fight him." Everyone laughed. A kid against a trained warrior? But David said, "When a lion tried to take a sheep, I chased it down. When a bear attacked my flock, I took it down too. It wasn't my strength. God protected me, and he'll do it again today." King Saul tried giving David armor, but it was too big, too heavy, not him. David took it off. He didn't need a sword. He picked up his sling and 5 smooth stones from a stream. Then he walked into the valley. Goliath saw him and laughed. "Am I a dog that you come at me with sticks? Come here, boy. I'll feed your flesh to the birds." David didn't flinch. He shouted back, "You come at me with sword and spear, but I come in the name of the Lord of armies, the God of Israel whom you mocked. Today, he will hand you over to me." David spun his sling, once, twice, 3 times. The stone flew like lightning and hit Goliath right in the forehead. The giant crashed to the ground. The Philistine army ran in fear. Israel's soldiers shouted in victory. And David? David stood strong, not just as some lucky hero, but as an eternal reminder that true faith defeats any giant. The boy no one noticed became a king. But more important than the crown he would one day wear was the courage he showed in that valley. Because sometimes God chooses the small for big things. And when you rise up with faith, no giant can take you down.
One stone, one moment of faith. That's all it took to change history. But David's story isn't just about the past. It's about you. That fear, that doubt, that giant staring you down. This is your sign. Stand up. Grab your stone. Because the God who backed David, he's got your back too. Want more battles, more miracles, more unstoppable faith? Drop a like if this fired you up. Share this with someone who needs to hear it. Subscribe, because the Bible's packed with stories that'll make your heart race and your faith unshakable. This isn't just a channel, it's your armor. Hit subscribe, your next victory starts now. The battle is the Lord's. 1 Samuel 17:47. So, who's ready to fight?